Actually loaded. Let me unmute TeamSpeak. We can all express our surprise and adulation in 1 second. This is the semi-finals for the Frankfurt Majors 2015 Open Qualifiers. We have For the Pig, a team I doubt anybody has heard of, who have made their way all the way up to playing Boreal Esports, a team I think many of us have heard of, a team that may have gotten an invite to the qualifiers, the closed qualifiers, if they didn't have a roster shuffle so close to the qualifiers. I am Llama Down Under. I am joined by the wonderful late night edition of Tea Time Dota and about 7 llamas on stats. How are you both doing?
Well, I just got called wonderful for the first time by someone other than my mother, so I think it's pretty good.
Excellent. Always looking to help.
I had a statistics exam this morning where I had to perform an ANOVA analysis by hand.
So I hear you're not feeling good.
No, I'm a little bit tired, but I can manage.
Okay. So either way, we're gonna be having, this is a best of 3. We're at the part of the qualifiers where it is now best of 3, and we've already got bans flying out. Picks not so much, but I think a lot of these looking very common. The only thing to me that's a little bit different is this Alk ban, but I caught the end of For the Pigs, one of their matches, and they did run an Alchemist. He also can be very strong against a lot of the popular mid heroes, the melee mid heroes like Ember. So I'm guessing that's what's going on there.
5 seconds.
Of course, and it's not even that bad against Doom because you do have the minus armor coming in, the physical damage from unstable concoction. Of course, they did ban out the Doom themselves, but not to say he isn't a very strong hero in the metagame. And speaking of strong heroes, the hero you just casted earlier, Shadow Fiend, being picked up by For the Pig.
Yeah, a lot of teams have been favoring this Shadow Fiend. He is hot right now, to say the least. A lot of heroes getting changed in the last patch, but Shadow Fiend's still right up there. And this is going to be, most likely, a Jeppens Tusk, and then a Kikoni mid Ember Spirit. So, we've seen this before. Kikoni, very powerful on this hero. Jeppens, he likes playing the Tusk. Some people would argue he has a small hero pool, but when Tusk is in, it doesn't matter.
Pretty much, and Ember Spirit versus Shadow Fiend, that's a pretty to and fro matchup because sure, Ember, he can get his Flame Guard removed pretty easily by the raises coming in, but at the same time, if you get a nice Searing Chains off, you can pair that up pretty easily with one more support rotating in, and that's an easy kill on the Shadow Fiend. Of course, Winter Wyvern being picked up by For the Pig, a rotation coming in from them. From that Wyvern could completely turn around that gank, so we do have defensive capabilities as the Earthshaker has been banned up by For the Pig.
Yeah, the Wyvern's also super powerful just because she can help ensure a first blood in mid, or even just make sure that your Shadow Fiend gets those first 4 souls, which are enough to put him in winning that lane territory. So definitely something I'm excited to see. Either way, the Brood ban out, she's been banned a lot this tournament. We've got Earthshaker and Dazzle, I think both very strong heroes, and a Shadow Fiend especially being squishy. One good Earthshaker fissure, he's out of position. He's gonna go down to the Flame God Searing Chains.
And not to mention Ember himself, pretty susceptible to ganks before level 6, and Earthshaker is just one of those heroes who can always keep your middle lane safe. The Darkseer ban coming out as well, and I'd like to quickly talk a bit about that Brood ban. I think it goes back to what we just saw in ESL 1 with Vega's Mag just completely decimating. They even went as far as first picking that hero and just showcasing a new style of playing that Brood in the fighting style, and you just have to be seeing the CIS scene spreading its wings.
Regardless of where or how she's played, it feels like she can be such a burden if you don't have the heroes to counter her. So I completely understand folks not wanting to deal with that. And we have an anti-mage. This is gonna be the Bakemono anti-mage. I don't know if he's broken records yet, but he frequently ends this hero on 0 or 1 deaths. So...
But does he have any kill participation is the real question.
Yeah.
This is an anti-mage we're talking about.
He does wait. He does very much do the typical farming style of anti-mage where he waits and waits, and then they...
Wait some more.
Yeah, they wait and they wait, and then they basically say, hey, I'm ready to fight at about the 20-minute mark, or maybe the 35-minute mark, and then the game seems to snowball from there. And yeah, I'm not actually sure. I believe that this is Kikoni. Yeah, it is Kikoni. See? He's got it labeled up. Some folks were asking in chat, what is their roster? Their finalized roster right now is Kikoni on mid, Jeppens on offlane, Bakemono on the 1 farming support, Pizza Dad and PQ on support. So, just so...
I need the Pizza Dad copy pasta so I can recite it.
Yeah. That's a funny one we've got floating around. Either way, For the Pig going with Slaughter. I don't know how much you've been casting of games where... Have you seen the offlane Slaughter yet?
I've seen the support side there actually. It worked out pretty well. I was very surprised, but that was a very particular single pick. I have not seen the offline Slardar that doesn't get played that much in the Southeast Asian scene. But what I like about Slardar is when you can farm up a Blink Dagger, it's good AoE initiation, as Lich just picked up. A hero that was buffed in this patch as well. But Slardar, it's good AoE initiation with the Blink Dagger. B, it's great vision, but I think what really matters against these agility heroes is, especially when you're looking at someone like an Ember Spirit who has pretty much no armor to speak of anyway, when you get the amplified damage on them, Shadow Fiend is not the best late gamer. Shadow Fiend versus Anti-Mage, you've got to say Anti-Mage will probably win out in the late game despite not being the strongest late gamer. However, when you put on the amplified damage onto the Anti-Mage, then suddenly Shadow Fiend just completely rips him apart.
Yeah, but we've seen this before. A nice way to counter the minus armor strat is to pick up something like the Lich, which can give your team a lot of bonus armor. Very powerful, a lot of fun, and it's easy, quick armor. Anti-Mage, of course, and Ember do actually gain a lot more armor than other heroes as they scale, being agi, but, you know, not enough, I think, to outpace something like the Slaughter amp damage or the Shadow Fiend's presence of the Dark Lord. So
that's true, but at the same time, I think I'm not entirely sure why For the Pig took out Dazzle, because if they were going for the Slardar pick, then it's pretty unlikely that Boreal wants to be taking that on themselves. They could have gone into a Dazzle third pick if they did want to do the minus armor strat, having Shadow Fiend and the Slardar in mind already. So perhaps this is a reactionary pick towards the Anti-Mage that they weren't planning on earlier on. So we've got to keep that in mind, that they may be slightly out of their comfort zone moving into this match.
I think just the Dazzle would have been more... I don't think they wanted to pick the Dazzle because they needed more lockdown, and so they wanted something like the Witch Doctor, which brings heal and has a little bit more lockdown with the coconuts. And the Dazzle would have been really powerful on Boreal's lineup just because it allows people, first of all, to secure those kills. You have to go deeper and deeper, more chances that Anti-Mage will blink away. And then the other issue being that they have so much sustain. Either way, we've got Gyro Disruptor ban out. The Disruptor is the one here that's really interesting to me. I'm not quite sure who he's targeting, because
personally I don't agree with that ban, simply because Disruptor is one of those heroes. He's great, okay, but at the same time you need that level 6 so badly. And now look, what do we have if we look over to Boreal? We've got Ultimate Greed. Lich doesn't do too well counter ganking the mid lane. Sure, the nuke is nice and everything, but if Ember Spirit gets gone on by Winter Wyvern Witch Doctor, let's be honest, Lich isn't going to be saving him. Disruptor, sure, he helps out a little bit, but he's not going to be getting his level 6 if he is forced to constantly rotate. Without his level 6, Boreal with an Anti-Mage who are already looking to be on the back foot, perhaps the Disruptor pickup was a bit...
Wait, it could be for the Clockwork. So For the Pig still hasn't picked up their offlaner. I assumed it was the offlane Slaughter, right? But it could be safe lane farming Slaughter. And that means...
It's pretty unlikely against an Anti-Mage though, the offlane Slardar, so yeah, possibly. But the Rubik has been picked up by Boreal. It's obviously a great hero versus the Winter Wyvern versus the Witch Doctor, and not to mention Slardar only having 2 spells, both of them great to steal as a Rubik.
There's also the additional, you can get telekinesis off at 0 cost point. If someone blinks in and you're quick with your fingers, you'll get this. And I think also Boreal may be anticipating that it could be a Clockwork coming out For the Pig and wanting something like the Rubik, which very much counters the Clockwork, pulling him out of his cogs. For the Pig's now really deciding on that offlaner because they don't have a bunch of options left in the pool for viable offlaners. Rubik also means that you can't pick up the Phoenix as easily.
Yeah, Phoenix versus Rubik, that's not fun at all.
Yeah. So,
but Clockwork obviously being the obvious choice for the Pig, but what else could they be going for over here? The Night Stalker has been taken out of the pool, but they go for a Spectre, and it will be an offlane Slardar. And I was talking about greed coming out from Boreal's side, but we've got a Spectre pickup for the Pig, and let's see how this ends up working out for them, because definitely something that perhaps you don't expect with both the Shadow Fiend and the Slardar. Even to some extent, the Winter Wyvern and Witch Doctor, slightly greedy supports, do want their level 6, do want some semblance of farm on them.
Yeah. The thing that I do find to be pretty, I don't know if it's too greedy for the Pig, but you have to be very careful. The Slaughter will probably have to go that utility offlane Slaughter where you actually go the force off before the blink, and it's always interesting exactly how that works out. I will introduce For the Pig and then toss it over to you for Boreal. We've got 111 on Winter Wyvern. We've got Zoe on the Slaughter, Daily Dance on Witch Doctor. Spectre is going to be played up by Ms. Pig or Alex. Haven't decided which one I'll use there. And finally, Wipe on the Shadow Fiend.
Alright, so on the side of Boreal, we do have Japans TPing up with that 75 gold TP, enjoying that, putting down a sentry, blocking up that pull camp on the Tusk. PQ on the Lich. Anti-Mage being picked up by none other than Baka Imono. Rubik being played up by Pizza Dad 37. I need his copy pasta over here. Ember Spirit, finally we do have Kikoni going up in the middle lane on that.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think that obviously both of these teams have heroes, the Anti-Mage and the Spectre, who need a bit more farming time. Traditionally, Spectres late game do beat out an Anti-Mage, but Ember Spirit is a hero who just comes online when he gets the level 6 kind of, or more max levels in Flame God even will do it. He has a lot of AoE damage to output, and maybe that'll help out Boreal. So.
And even in the late game, Ember Spirit's pretty strong against Spectre. Sure, she can haunt in, but if Ember has a Remnant up and ready, he can pretty much haunt away. He can Remnant away from any of the illusions, come back and engage with a couple of Sleight of Fists, and even the illusion damage coming out, because you do normally go for the Battle Fury on that Ember Spirit. That's going to be pretty sizable. However, of course, we're not factoring in the Shadow Fiend and the Slardar amp damage coming in, so you never know. There's definitely a lot of X factors in this game, and you can't really give either team's draft a significant one-up on the other.
Exactly. Now, we're going to be seeing if we're going to have a bit of a rune fight. Probably going to be Dire for top rune, and bottom going to the Radiant. I don't know if Boreal's going to want to rotate the Ember all the way down bottom to ensure he gets the first bounty rune, but we will see. He's gone, actually. He really expects to take harassment in this lane, so he's got the full poor man shield, and they're going to disperse, actually allowing Bakemono to take that bounty.
I think you can just call him Baka, it's fine.
No, I want to get it right. You know, the players did actually come onto my stream and give me some pronunciation tips, although I'm very bad at pronouncing things, so such is life. We have a nice little block here, but still, traditionally Ember loses his mid lane, so I don't expect anything to really happen here. Kikoni will play very aggressively, but as long as Wipe is not out of position, he should be fine in this mid lane. So,
but I'd like to look over towards PQ, who's going up on the top lane on this Lich, and sure, it's going to be helping Japans out quite a bit. I mean, it's very hard to lane up against a Winter Wyvern. Oh, hold that thought, we might actually be seeing a kill coming through as PQ, one more reckless is all he needs, and first blood comes out. Wow.
Yeah, so it's
slightly surprising.
Basically, it looked like Witch Doctor just wanted to get some harass in, but there was an entire creep wave, and then when you get the ice shards to block him off, it's always valuable. But yeah, this lane, it's really just to sack the Spectre's farm. With a Lich up here, there's going to be creeps denied so frequently that you just miss out on farm that you may have otherwise gotten it.
But the trade-off is, of course, going to be Zoe on this bottom lane, just getting up a lot of experience already up to level 2 in just one more creep, and perhaps getting a couple of lost hits as well. Normally, Slardar not one of those heroes that you would see doing this well, paired up against Traveling, but with Lich being on the top lane, that's a completely different story.
Yeah, he's completely free to contest this pull. He might even be able to get the creeps to follow him and pull them to a position he would like, but in the meantime up top, it looks like Daily Dance trying to get some more work done. This tri-lane they're running up here, it feels like the supports might be better suited going. Oh, they're actually nice ice shards. There's going to be another. He uses the Spectral Dagger to get over it. Now PQ's in a lot of trouble. Puts him in the snowball, but he doesn't manage to get off that Frost Blast. And so what should have been a kill on the Spectre, just a really nice play from Alex up there getting away.
I don't think they can go on the Spectre because they've got now disabled. Sure, you've got the slow coming out, but Ice Shards does not help against the Spectral Dagger. So perhaps a bit of a mistake in targeting that they probably will not be doing again. That being said, Spectre was forced to use up his salve, so come next time, he will be forced out of lane if nothing else.
Yeah, she's very squishy. She doesn't have a lot of health. She's gone the Ring of Aquila is probably what she's going to build into, and so that just makes it...
Oh, that top bottom lane, Zoe goes down as Baka Imono. Getting the blink onto him, he was getting aggressive onto Pizza Dad, but he gets the telekinesis up, and with Anti-Mage blinking in, there's absolutely no hope for that Slardar.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm just gonna switch over to net worth just because with a few kills, the CS not gonna really tell us the full story, and we can see Anti-Mage with that kill topping the net worth chart. They're going again on Spectre up here. She's taking the cold blast. She has enough now for Spectral Dagger, but she gets stunned. They need 2 more auto attacks. Are they going to get it? They do. PQ already stacking up 2 kills, and
It looks like I'm already wrong.
No, I don't think you're necessarily wrong. What happened is the supports were out stacking and pulling. So there's no way for sustain. The Cold Embrace couldn't come out. The Cold Embrace isn't even leveled yet on 111. So
I mean, they needed the Arctic Burn to get that kill, and they might need it again over here.
Yeah, they're using it, but it feels like they've decided they've switched targets. I feel like you have to just pick one, so they get neither. At the very least, they're gonna get this ward deward. So feeling
Winter
like
Wyvern picking up a bit of gold for that.
yeah. I think
But
just a bit
middle lane,
of
if we look over towards the Kikoni white matchup, he might be going down, but instead he turns around with Searing Chains a bit too aggressive though, and he gets away with just 4 HP.
the bottle saved his life there. I don't
well
know
done
whether
by
that
him.
was calculated. We're gonna give Kikoni the benefit of the doubt, but that was very, very close. In the meantime, though,
Definitely very risky.
yeah. Witch Doctor now trying to get off some aggressive denies. The other problem up here for the tri-lane is they're gonna be super underleveled compared to a Lich, just because the Lich is doing so much denying. So
And not to mention these, like we talked about this in the drop, these supports do want levels and some semblance of farm. And at the moment they're getting neither. Kikoni on the middle lane, Invis Rune up and ready, he might get a Searing Chains on with this.
he probably wants to wait for his own creep advantage a little bit. He might just pop it and wait for more health. It's very close. The Flame God can't take that many hits. He can only take 2 raises. And then physical damage on an SF is very high just because he has a lot of souls in top. They're going again onto Alex. I don't think Alex is going to go down. He uses the Spectral Dagger to get over the Ice Shards. But at the same time, it's forcing out these Arctic Burns constantly to save the Spectre. And this lane, I think, wanted to play aggressively. They didn't want to use Arctic Burn to save a Spectre.
Yeah, that's true, and I mean, at this point, you gotta think to yourself, okay, the Shadow Fiend now he's doing pretty well in the mid lane because he's rotated out towards the neutral, but he's still equaling the CS of the Ember, and obviously neutral creeps just aren't worth as much as lane creeps. So if you look over towards the net worth, surprisingly, Shadow Fiend is on top, and I'm wrong again.
Anti-Mage is actually on top.
No, I mean compared to the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty common. Ember Spirit can't really flash bomb until he has up max levels in Flame Gods. He's not going to be getting a lot of work done. He shouldn't be getting CS in lane. He should be forced out. So I'm actually pretty impressed that he has.
That's what I'm
29.
surprised about actually, because they're equaling in CS. So
Yeah. But
definitely well played by him.
either way, Bakemono on this bottom lane, he has the most. He is stealing all the mana on the slaughter, making it hard for him to slither and crush, and still getting a lot of lost hits. So.
And he's gone for an interesting build. He hasn't gone for the 1-1-1 that we normally see, perhaps fearing the physical damage coming out because of the soon-to-come Slardar amplified damage and whatnot. Slardar level 5 DD picked up. He's getting pretty close to that amp damage and getting a little bit of farm too on this bottom lane.
Yep. In the meantime, another Ice Shards do come out. There is a Spectral Dagger up, so she's gonna be fine. I think he's went the 1-1-2, well, the 1-1-0 build, as you mentioned, just because there's a lot of physical damage in this game. There isn't a lot of magical. We're actually going in on Bakemono a little bit, but he's just gonna tank it up. There's a lot of physical damage and minus armor. The only magical damage being out of Shadow Fiend and the Splinter Blast. The Arctic Burn is % health as well. I don't know exactly how that applies with magical, but I think he's thinking, look, I'm not going to be anywhere near those heroes for a while. Going in again on Spectre, but they decide to hold it, so. But yeah.
Bottom lane, Zoe gets a stun on 2. There's a TP coming in from the Shadow Fiend. They could turn this around. Bakemono might go down. He throws out the Mana Void, but he misses the raise onto the Anti-Mage. Zoe will go down because of that. But Pizza Dad soon to follow. He's got a TP, but he doesn't have the mana to use it as White still in pursuit. He jukes left, he jukes down. But in the end, lots of missed raises. Pizza Dad, will you get away from this? Looks like he might. He's trying to TP up with one more right click, and Rubik with no armor does take the fall.
So real on the top lane though, they're going in. Spectre is going to get snowballed into. I don't know if this is going to be enough to get the kill though. PQ trying to get away, but no time, and his Ice Blast just off cooldown. Jeffins doesn't have the Warrior's Punch yet, and even if he did, there's the Cold Embrace. Jeffins probably going to fall here as well. A failed gank, and suddenly FP going to be in the lead when it comes to kills after getting that last little auto attack. So
The sustain.
yeah.
The Voodoo Restoration. That did so much.
Yep. It's pretty common. Both of these heroes should have a lot of sustain, and as we mentioned, they just needed to get their levels up. So Boreal, they'd started to get a lead with the AM farming a lot, but instead it's going to be back to 0-0. Of course, we are only 8 minutes in, so not terribly
surprising. But the amount of action coming out in this game, I've got to say, as Ember Spirit middle lane.
That's a
Gets a
case
kill
of,
onto Wire.
yeah, that's a case of being out of position at all. You really can't against an Ember Spirit as he starts to get up these levels. One little bit out of position. You hanging out by the ranged creep when there's only one ranged creep means you're going to take a Searing Chains. So
That's true, but I'm gonna give Wipe a bit of benefit of the doubt simply because the poor guy was like sitting next to his tier 1 tower. He probably didn't think that could happen, but not respecting the damage of the Ember Spirit, and you're completely right. Zoe on this bottom lane picking up level 7 has that amp damage, and I'm interested to see whether or not he's gonna be able to do something with this, which is a bit of a weakness of the offense ladder. I feel that you can't do that much.
We have Ember going in top. There's going to be... Where's the Searing Chains? It comes out. There's a Sleight of Fish. There's also a Lich ulti bouncing around, but it ends in the backlines on 1-1-1. And now Japans, it looks like, is going to go down. They took out Witch Doctor, but that is not what you wanted. You lost an offlaner for the Witch Doctor. And now Kikoni could be taking a lot of damage. The Splinter Blast doesn't hit, so he doesn't get slowed. He should be able to get out of this fine. Long Range Raise will just tickle his tail feathers, and he gets out. So
he had no remnant. That was very risky.
Yeah, he's used up a lot of his remnants. It was on the gank mid, so...
Yep.
Either way,
bottom lane, the Bakemon are getting a lot of space, and he will be pushing out this tier 1 tower.
yeah.
Probably not going to get it, but some chip damage never goes amiss.
And as you mentioned, it's something where the supports on Boreal, just because they did do 2-1-2, they're both already almost 6, where our supports on for the pig much lower. You really need that Witch Doctor ult. The Death Ward's super powerful, and it synergizes great with this lineup.
Winter's Curse, of course.
Oh goodness, in middle though, Kikoni taking a lot of damage, and they pick him off with a final raise. Looks like he tried to go in aggro and then got coconutted up.
And it's always a bit of a risk when you're playing up against that Witch Doctor, up against that Winter Wyvern, who do have such good TPing in and saving potential, for lack of better words.
Yep. So can't ever count anyone out as dead. So
basically yes, but Zoe having diverted for the power treads before he went for a mobility item, something like the Force Staff or the Blink Dagger, whichever one he wanted to go for. Perhaps slightly surprising given the level of farm that he was getting. I would have liked to see him go directly for a mobility item, considering that he is up against an Anti-Mage and an Ember Spirit.
I don't think the odds of him able... So Remnant is instant cost point, and the Blink is also faster than the Slithering Crush, I believe. So the odds of him, even if he got a Blink...
The Blink isn't.
We're going to be able to see the Shadow Fiend go down again, caught out of position a little bit by the Ember. There's going to be a... Slithering Crush does manage to land, and with the amp damage, but then it is returned by Pizza Dad. Pizza Dad doing really well. He needs 3 more auto attacks, I think, and no, he isn't quite able to kill off Zoe on the Slaughter. And they're also going in top. Deep Snowball, Ice Shards finishing off the Spectre, but look at it go, coming out. And Walrus Punch used by Japans, I think he should be able to walk this off. Is the Arctic Bone active? No, it is not. So
rotations everywhere, and middle lane, Kikoni getting that kill onto the Shadow Fiend. Sardar was pretty safe. He had 5 stick charges anyway, so definitely not in too much risk, but it's Japans on this top lane. Just being harassed up a little bit.
Yeah. He's going to be A-okay. Also being able to deny the catapult, I think a big reason that Lich has gotten more powerful. That's a lot of gold you deny.
Definitely. Definitely. And Bakemon getting pretty close to that Battle Fury. He just needs about 100 gold for that Claymore. Should have it by about the 14-15 minute mark, especially now that he does pick up that tower lost hit as a pause does come through from him. Perhaps some connection issues coming through, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's been a lot of connection issues in this series. Now let's take a look up at items that are flying around the map. Bakemono only needs 1 more piece to get his Battle Fury, about 1,000 gold away from that. We've also got an Aquila out on Ember Spirit. It's always interesting to see whether he goes the drums or the Aquila. A lot of Ember Spirits preferring not to go both, just because it puts you further behind on your damage items as that comes out. So
I think he might need to go for both this time though, because he does need to be the early game force. They do have the Anti-Mage who will be coming in for the damage. They're pretty significant. They're doing pretty well considering that they have a 4,000 experience lead, 3,500 goal lead, 12 minutes in. So perhaps he feels comfortable enough to be able to go for that wipe, though I'm interested to see what he's going for on the Shadow Fiend. Will it be the mechanism or perhaps something like a Yule Scepter or a BKB coming through for him? He's got 1500 gold, so yeah, the world is his oyster at this point.
Yeah. And instead, Zoe just going to be chilling in...
The Haunt comes through top lane, and the Spectre might be going down to try to Haunt away, but it's not going to be enough. Even Daily Downs possibly going down as the the Sithering Crush comes through from the Rubik. Zoe, though, he's out with his own Sithering Crush. Pizza Dad gets bashed up and goes down. Jeppins will be able to live. So it's a 2-for-1 overall, and middle lane Shadow Fiend might be going down as well. He gets the trade-off with the Death Requiem, though.
I think that kill right there wasn't worth it for Kikoni. Yes, he got the kill first, but he needed to get out clean, I think. Dying there, just really painful, hurting your farm, and you didn't hurt the Shadow Fiend's farm as much since he's at the level where he can just go into the jungle and get all of those souls back. In the meantime, though, they're snowballing up on Zoe on top. If the Lich ulti's gonna bounce, it is, and PQ picking up another kill. Can we just take a look? This support Lich, 5, 2, and 2. Ah, folks, this is apparently how you support Lich at high levels. So, PQ doing a really good job there. And we're going to be seeing things calm down a little bit. I think Spectre wants some space to farm a lot. And at the same time, they're content to let their anti-mage farm. He is quite a bit ahead of the Spectre. She is the, she's 7th. And the bottom net worth. It looks like Tea Time Dota has died. So I will just continue on. He'll hopefully be back soon. Bakemono, in the meantime, just going to be working on pushing up that bottom lane. We're going to be seeing Kikoni trying to get a push on in mid, although there's a lot of backup. And Slaughter still doesn't have one of those mobility items that he really needs to get back into this game. So, in the meantime, though, maybe they'll just go for the easy pick on top. Spectre and AM actually chillaxing, looking at each other. I'm a little bit confused by this rotation. The AM is way ahead of the Spectre. His Battle Fury should be on the way shortly. He has enough to buy it up after this creep. And Battle Fury AM, we've all seen how much your farm accelerates once you get that up. So, either way, things going to be... Yeah, nice timing on the mech as well. Jeppins has been involved in a huge amount of kills. 1, 2, and 6, right? Both he and PQ have been constantly involved in these ganks. And it feels like that really helping their farm. And Lich is a funny case. I would love about 7 Lomas if you have some stats on this items that Lich builds. Looks like he's going the Aghanims. He's not a hero. Oh goodness, we have a Searing Chains and 3 Remnants coming out. This is a very dead Shadow Fiend. Ember Spirit getting this time, and there is no turnaround. I was gonna ask about the Lich item build. He's not a hero who we often see go a lot of items. A nice Ice Shard blocking off, and the Spectre won't gonna do nothing. Boreal really having their number on the rotations here. Seeing it all with this ward, allowing them to get much better rotations. So, and there's also gonna be ward placed down. Obs immediately dewarded by our Boreal lineup. So, not feeling so great after those few initiations. We're headed towards a 7.5k net worth lead, 10,000 experience. The experience is almost more important here because the experience really tells you what spells they can be pushing out, especially on someone like the Spectre, who we can see she doesn't even have her treads. So, I will attend to that in a second. We've got a Searing Chains coming out. There's going to be a very dead Spectre, or is she? They actually Remnant to the wrong side. She's now just trying to use the TP out, but there are the lost auto attacks. And let me just get Tea Time Dota back in this. So, hopefully we don't miss any of the action while we're doing this. Hello and welcome back.
Hello,
the pulse
I'm
word,
sorry.
Oh, the pulse word is cats in lowercase for heads up, so if that happens again, if your internet dies.
Awesome.
But you didn't
Sorry.
miss too much. There were just a couple of kills, and Boreal extending their lead. So,
I'm surprised that I didn't miss too much, considering that while I was here, every second there was like kills left, right, and center. Even now, 14 for 9, 16 minutes in. It's pretty insane. Very action-packed game that we've got. Anti-Mage though, I think he's got his Battle Fury up, and look at his farm, 150 in about 16 minutes.
yeah, it's particularly impressive that there is also many kills, considering it is a Spectre AM game, not usually what we're used to seeing for those two heroes. And we were just discussing, what do you go as this farmed Lich, because PQ has been involved in 7 kills, so he is just very very stacked, and you don't normally expect Lich, because he's the support you pick when you're like, hey, my other support needs to do well. So, not sure what you buy, and it looks like he's going Ags.
Walrus Punch goes out, Daily Dance might be going down to Remnant! The Requiem comes through, PQ. Will end up falling, so will Pizza Dad. As they were trying to make it go on to Wish Doctor, and it ends up being a 3-for-1.
Yeah, I missed but the tail end of that, and it looks like the Shadow Fiend being up there proving to just be too much for them. And it's hard to send your offlaner and 2 supports to fight their cause, so...
He did have an invincible, so he was able to channel up his Requiem while Tusk was in Snowball. And when Tusk snowballed in, it was basically into a full-up Requiem straight on. That was very painful to watch.
That is always super rush.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And is it just me or is the game lagging a little bit?
I am not getting any lag. I was just having a bit of a giggle because 2 minutes ago, one of my friends was like, "Oh, why is the other guy not talking very much?" And it's like, well, he was DC'd 2 minutes ago, so.
Well, I mean that does help. That does normally prevent people from talking, but it's perfectly fine. But...
Some of our newcomers don't know. Once again, I know we've got some new people on the stream. This is game 1 between Boreal and For the Pig, and I am casting with Tea Time Dota and about 7 llamas on stats. Tea Time Dota's internet went out for a few seconds, but you're back. So.
As always, good to be back. But now looking over towards Alex on Spectre, he's got 2,000 gold on him, and I think we know that he's probably going for that relic. And well on his way, he should be having it by about 23 minutes.
Yeah,
if he doesn't die again.
Interesting because he definitely did not have a good start. I don't think he'll get it at 23. That seems a bit... Oh, just for the relic? Maybe. I think he'd need to get many more kill involvements. But it is rough because he is their target, and you can see they're headed into the jungle to hunt him again.
And there's smoked up Lich leading the charge. Perhaps Jeppin should be in front, but they do have a lot of people here, though. Yeah, right? I mean, there's a Shadow Fiend right here. He's got a mechanism too, so Alex, sure, he's low, but oh my god, the smoke gets revealed. He's snowballing in, and Tusk does not want to be there. He Walrus punches onto a cold embrace, and Winter's Curse goes out.
A bit of a misplay there. It's something we've seen quite a bit, folks, forgetting that Walrus Punch is physical, Cold Embrace, you can't just Walrus Punch up the person, so... Yeah, it's a little unfortunate there, but...
And they do end up hitting gold, as you said.
Yeah. So gonna help Spectre, she's gonna be happy with that, gonna put her closer and closer to her Radiance. This game gets a lot harder when the Radiance is online. Bakemono, he is getting close, he's got his Yasha, but not as close as you might need to...
Speaking of Yashas, Kikoni is going for a Manta Star. On that Ember Spirit.
Think that's
There's
unusual.
Not at all, especially not against the Amplified damage, but...
So I don't believe Amplified damage can be mounted off.
It can be.
We'll see. I just watched a game where it wasn't.
Really?
That's why I'm saying I don't believe. I need to check this interaction because in a game I saw somebody went Manta to get rid of it, and I do believe it's meant to be mounted off, and it's a bug. But we will see in this game. Let's keep our eyes on it because we will have multiple Mantas coming out.
There might be a smoke coming through from the dark side. They're grouped up as if they want to, but no smoke on any one of them. Glimmercape has come out on 1-1-1 on that Winter Wyvern, so going to be helping Spectre out a little bit more.
And it looks like the BKB is going to be active soon on Wipe. I think he's going to go for that over just the Sanjin Yasha.
Help lane, Spectral lagging in towards the trees.
Yeah, she has a haunt, so no worries about not being involved if she Spectral daggers too early. At the same time, Bakemono going into their jungle. He's looking for creeps to farm. Oh goodness, that aggressive blink. It is maxed, but you still, these aggressive blinks scaring me.
I have never seen a Sanjin Yasha on that number spread. Can we get a stat for how often that's been picked up?
Oh no, sorry, Sanjin Yasha, I don't think... Oh, did he go Sanjin Yasha? Yeah.
Yeah,
he did. Okay, so, well, he's going ham, though, on Alex. Alex, the Searing Chains do latch. He uses the Sleight of Fist. Can he get it? He can! He picks up the Spectre, and she used the Haunt, but she's not going to get anything in the meantime, is Roshan. Just the two of them going to be working to knock it out. Wow, what a lucky the Searing Chains latching on her when there was so many creeps around.
Definitely a big stroke of luck, but that luck might be running out over here as he gets Winter's Curse up, but we'll be able to remnant out.
Yeah.
EP up in 9 seconds.
At the same time, Roshan has fallen. And it's going to be up on Shadow Fiend. Yeah, I didn't expect the Sanjin Yonsha either, but I think because the Manta doesn't purge it. Oh, AM has already got his Manta online though, and the amp damage was applied afterwards, so we won't find out today, but that Aegis, it is immediately burned. AM might go in for a secondary burn, but here come the coconuts and actually just jumping away. So, all in all, I think pretty good for Boreal. They got 2 picks and the Aegis used right after it began.
Definitely, they're going to be pretty happy with that.
Oh, and they're going to
Zoe
get
then
Zoe.
going up as well.
I'm not quite sure why he was there. It looks like he just picked up his blink and wanted to use it.
But on the bright side for the pigs, they do have a BKB underway for their Shadow Fiend. 2,900 gold on the Spectre as well. Blink in though. Akaimono being very aggressive.
Yeah. Searing Chains don't latch this time. His luck has run out. And the Coconut's also not going to come out. So Kikoni probably just going to keep playing this front lineup. Flame God will be back up soon. And they get a tier
picks
2.
up the Greaves. Jeffins just finished his Greaves up. He will be having that recipe delivered out pretty soon.
I
And another tier 2 on its way.
I don't know if Greaves purges the
If
amplified
Greaves
damage.
doesn't, then I think
It's a
my life is a lie. See, yeah. What?
Yeah, see, it can be dispelled, only removed by death. It doesn't get mounted off, and I don't. So the purge
This
on
has got to
Guardian,
be a glitch. This has got to be a glitch.
the purge on Guardian Greaves is a soft. It's a normal dispel. So I think of it as soft purges. So it gets rid of slows, and it can get rid of holds and so on. But,
And silences.
oh, yeah. In the meantime, what is going on up top? No, just a nice shard zoning. So yeah, it can get rid of silences, but either way, we will see it. And Ember Spirit, now that he has the Sanjin Yasha, I really like this because it's allowing him to tank up quite a bit. And I know folks maybe not... Yeah. Okay. So that is amp damage, everybody. Put on your learning hats. He's gonna have the Battle Fury very soon on Ember.
Oh, blink in from Zoe though.
Yeah, we're gonna see what he can do here. Kikoni taking a lot of damage. Can he just Remnant out? Actually, Bakemono going in deep, and he's gonna pick... Oh my goodness, that Mana Boy doing so much damage, and I think Wipes is gonna go down as well. Tries to Requiem of Souls first, but Bakemono doesn't even care. And just acting like it's nothing, continuing to farm, thinking about sieging high ground. He's got an Eagle Song. Did he just jump in aggressively? He did! 1-1-1 just goes down before he can put up that Glimmer Cape or the Cold Embrace. And Bakemono,
Guys,
this is what I talked about.
I think he's done. I think he's done farming, guys.
Yeah. He gets his farm and he gets out and just he's scary. Yeah, so both Requiems went off at the same time. That is actually hilarious. And we can see 2 points in Spell Shield. It did nothing. So I'm thinking this
I'm
game...
slightly scared of this anti-mage right now. I was just about to comment that he has absolutely no kill participation, so typical anti-mage game, and then he comes out, pulls 4 kills out of his hat. He's like, well... I'm thinking though, Kikoni getting a kill onto the Witch Doctor. No buyback on him.
And it looks like 2 racks down. Now Spectre is a hard carry. I don't know how easily she's gonna work against supers in 2 lanes. And they just call it GG. We'll be going to a second game. Do you have any kind of final thoughts on this?
I think FTP, for the pick, they need to change up their drop a little bit. They need to play less reactionary, because I still do sort of think that the Slardar was a bit of a reactionary pick. But until... And they need to draft more for themselves. I don't think that they felt completely comfortable playing up against the Lich, Tusk and everything, but definitely should be looking to perhaps ban out the Lich in the second game. PQ was very effective on that in the early game, pairing up with Jepin's Tusk.
Yeah, I don't think it was a pick they really expected. So either way, we'll be getting into this second lobby right quick, hopefully. Oh, Jeffins has moved me in, so the lobby is up, folks. I think same password for those of you wondering.
I'm not sure. Do you have your co-caster with you? The second?
He should be headed in for the second game, but I'll give you a heads up. I'm just going to go to the splash screen and some music, and thank you all guys for watching. We'll be getting us into the second game as quick as possible. So...